Hello, everyone. Mackie here, and welcome to day 13 of the mid-season madness for the MSI 2026 tournament. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost here. We're almost at the end of this entire tournament. Now, before I'm going to recap this matchup between Hunter Life and Lion, let me to remind you, everybody, that we're going to review, of course, the finals that are going to take place, and we're going to do my all-pro selection and my superlatives for this entire tournament. Your favorite series, favorite plays, all this kind of stuff. So this is going to be one of those mega reviews and recaps of everything MSI 2026 and my thoughts about MSI 2026 and everything that goes on. And what does this means, the narratives for the summer split and to Worlds. So, yeah, this is going to be a huge episode tomorrow, or in, by the way, a couple of hours. So, yeah, that concludes it. Now it is time for me to do this series. But before that, I will warn you, everyone. This episode is going to contain North America heartbreak. You think last year was worse? You think the 2024 game against Gen G was worse? You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen pain as brutal as this one. So for the penultimate time of this MSI recap, we're going to get Psychopathic Poro to review this series. And also you notice that there'll be a little bit of frame rate stutters, and sometimes my the sound will be like a little bit faster than my movement of the videos. So maybe it's like the low frame rate, of course, causing it. And if that happens, well, I like to apologize. So it's not the best quality, of course. So without further ado, it is time for Poro to recap day 13 of LYON versus HLE. Take it away, Mr. Poro.
Hey guys, Poro here with another MSI 2026 daily recap, this time for the lower bracket finals match between HLE and LYON. Not many people expected LYON to make it this far, but due to a combination of role players stepping up, inspired carrying, and a relatively easy spread of matchups, they're here to take on the LCK 1 seed HLE, who funnily enough also only had to beat the same team's LYON beat to make it to this spot.
Really?
Both teams defeated Secret Whales in G2, and both lost to BLG, a notable coincidence.
Okay.
For today, I'm predicting HLE wins 3-0. LYON have yet to overcome any hurdles that involve surviving lane phases against strong Eastern teams with superior mechanics, and until my eyes see it, it'll be hard to believe they can make it out of early game at all. On top of that, laning dominance isn't even HLE's primary strength, as they love to make plays at a rapid rate similar to that of BLG, and it'll be interesting to see if LYON have what it takes to keep up at all. I'll be cheering for LYON though, so we'll see if this MSI can hit us with another crazy upset. With that out of the way, let's get right into the series. As if to torture me with a bit of hope, I actually like LYON's Game 1 draft a lot. Initially, I wasn't liking Ryze into Jarvan, but it felt like LYON had good prep with the Kiana pick and the Poppy answer into Ziggs Camille, and the Syndra counter for HLE is very hard since it's generally a bad pick into Kiana later in games. The Jhin and Mbessa are also good into HLE's champs, as Jhin can outrange all of the engage with Poppy's help, and Mbessa has plenty of tools from allies to get easy backline access, whereas HLE don't have good tools to stop LYON's dive once they get there. If HLE were to take a game, this is a good draft to do it with. The team with the first step in early game was HLE, and it came in the form of lots of jungle support play. Kanavi 5-camp ganked bot to start the team out with a kill, LYON fired back with a bot side rotation to kill Guma, and now there's a clear path forward for LYON as both Ziggs and Camille have no flash, making them potential targets. Instead of bot side though, both teams turned their focus towards top side. Inspired wanted to invade top camps, but HLE read the idea, and they instead skipped out on the camps to further engage onto Dokla, who went down. LYON thought maybe there was an angle to continue the fight with Realm Warp and numbers, but from a combination of Mbessa dying too fast, Inspired taking a very slow path to the fight, and the Realm Warp being in a terrible location, LYON lost the fight 2-0. Inspired got a kill right at the end, but overall it's a positive sequence for HLE. LYON then go topside to secure grubs, but this means that Ziggs survived the entire flash down timer, and he's now good to go again without ever being punished. With HLE having full control and good conditions, they go to start the second Drake, and LYON show up for an optimistic contest. HLE are ready for it and look better in the fight, but Saint manages to steal the Drake with a Q, so overall it's a fairly neutral play. Dokla then finds a timer to trade 1-for-1 with Zeka while getting his flash, so there's a timer again where there's a vulnerable target for LYON to focus on in fights. HLE play around this better than LYON do though, as they first make a play around the Syndra to get a kill while protecting her summoner timer, and then when it's LYON's turn to try to dive Zeka, Isles and Inspired aren't really on the same page, and they end up not being able to pull the trigger. Once again, a member of HLE is able to survive a full flash down timer with no punish. A bit later, Kanavi decides he wants to start putting some pressure on Lion, and he goes for an invade that leads to an engage. Unfortunately, it's onto Isles, so he uses all of his spells
Mm,
right into a Poppy W, killing himself in the
cannot do that.
process.
That Poppy
Then,
was.
Dokla, who was hidden
I mean, Nymera initialized said in the series that Poppy is just absolutely neutralizing the plays that Han Life Esports wanted. It just absolutely neutralized the plays. So continue.
on a flank for a long time, gets an ult angle onto Gumayusi, picking up another kill for Lion and making the play a 2-for-1 overall. What they didn't get from that fight though was any of the carry's flashes, and this makes Lion's comp extremely difficult to pilot. If they have setup, they can try to go for a turn, but if HLE have setup, Lion have basically no way to engage onto HLE's carries effectively. If
Mm,
HLE go to the Drake and hit it, it should be winning, but the light gives Lion the chance they need to win. He flies in for an engage, but it's once again right into a Poppy W, and if Lion can one-shot him, it's super good for the fight.
mm,
However, Saint reacts slow to the play and doesn't flash root the Camille, meaning Lion burned Kiana ult for nothing, and they're forced to give over the Drake.
uh,
At the Soul, it's the same situation. HLE have full setup, all carries have flash, and Lion have no way to break in. This time, Delight's turn is much better, going on to Rise for the one-shot when Poppy isn't in the area. With Hex
oh,
Soul, HLE feel confident to play aggressively, and after
yeah,
catching Isles out in the jungle, they turn to do Baron. The
yeah.
take is slow, and Lion all move into fight, and with the superior vision, Delight is able to find Inspired and combo him. This would normally turn into a kill as the rest of HLE could react, but at the same time, Guma is caught out and chunked by Mbessa,
Oh,
meaning he can't ult the Kiana, and the rest of HLE have to pull off to defend him. Isles goes for the teleport flank, and the fight looks like it could go either way, but Guma is able to output a lot of damage even with his blinking health bar, and Zeka
look at
reacts
that.
quickly to Berserker's
Look at
attempted
that.
flash over the wall. Lion all funnel into a choke with a Scion passive there, and they go down in a 5-for-3 ace. The game should be over from here, but Lion have one more trick up their sleeves as Saint and Inspired go for a realm warp play to sneak Elder. Kanavi doesn't realize until the last moment, Inspired secures the Elder, and Lion are able to kill
Okay,
3 members. Their chance to use the buff
okay.
again comes soon, as they're stanced at the mid-tier 1, ready to
I think
die.
Initialize and Nymera said that once they steal Adder, I think they should go bot. I think if you look at here, I think they should have gone bot, which is at least right here. Maybe they could just push bot or something. I don't know. It's a tricky thing for me. It's so tricky to me. But maybe they should have used Elder to just push bot. I guess.
Zeka uses the Syndra E and misses, and this could have maybe been the go button to dive and win the game, but a
Mm-hmm.
teleport from Ziggs and a Scion ult from base are enough to deter the play. Lion never get another chance to use the Elder, the buff wears off, and HLE ace Lion topside 5-for-0 in a fairly underwhelming fashion to end game 1. Overall, Lion lost this one of their own volition. HLE gave them multiple chances to get something going, but through a lack of willingness to play for flashes or punish flashes when they were down, as well as some mediocre execution in big teamfights, Lion weren't able to get anything going and were bled out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty solid win for HLE, and a possible indication that they'll skill gap their way to a series victory. Game 2 draft goes to HLE. I thought Lion would go Galio on 3 and then pick tanky champions on 4-5 so that Nocturne and Ori don't have any targets, which is the best way to beat the combo in my opinion. But instead of that, they went Akali for side lane pressure, a pick I don't like at all, because it's hard to get Akali value with Nocturne in the game, and she's a target for the HLE combo. On top of that, Lion's draft is awkward into all of the range and annoying disengage tools that HLE have, so I'm expecting Lion to struggle in fights while finding very little value in the in-between moments. The early game
Yeah, and the initialize and Nymera. Shout out to them. They say the same thing. I don't know if Lion can win with a comp like this. I mean, how are you gonna win this one? How are you literally gonna win this one? You got Lisi kick in, and then Kali engage in, and then Israel ult in, and then Gragas like trying to disengage. Like it's just all over the place, of course. Meanwhile, you got the simple Nocturne Oriana comp. You got the Wall of Anivia. You got Bullet Time for Misfortune, and the Charm Engage, of course, the Light. I think this feels like, yeah, Lion is cooked on this draft. But if you keep watching, something magical is gonna happen. Poro, continue.
of this one was incredibly slow. Lion didn't hunt for many angles, and the ones they did go for didn't end up working, so it turned into a farm camp's handshake, which is ideal for Nocturne. The first action occurred at Grubs, where both teams finally decide to go for a fight. Io starts it off with an engage, and then he flashes the shockwave to live, but Inspired messes up his combo, failing to land Q off of his own ult, meaning Lion can't extend any further, and HLE chase down Isles for first blood. The next fight is at second Drake, and this one was equally messy. HLE are in good position to win it, but the start is pretty sloppy with Delight and Kanavi picking different targets to engage on, and then the Nocturne Fear Tether is barely broken by an Akali E, meaning it's a worst-case scenario opener. Because of this, the rest of LYON are able to retaliate in the fight, winning it 2-for-1 and securing the Drake.
Ooh.
Kanavi makes a super questionable play by walking into a jungle with multiple confirmed LYON members there, and he ends up killing himself. At the Herald, both teams are looking to fight, but once again, it's a mess from all sides. Isles fucks up his initial combo and knocks Orianna away instead of up. Then HLE's position is blown up by a Gragas cast, which leads to full chaos. Berserker is missing Qs on CC targets, which severely lowers his DPS, and Inspired goes for one of the uglier Lee Sin combo attempts I've seen in a while. Somehow, through all of this though, the accelerated carries of LYON are able to win the fight, and HLE are now on the back foot. Scattered plays happen across the map for the next few minutes as Zeus is dove bot, then HLE cross map mid and kill Gragas, then HLE decide to commit for Gragas again with 4 people and a few ultimates, and these ults being down gives Saint an angle to all-in Zeka and get a solo kill. Gold is pretty much even, and the game is about to explode. It starts off with Inspired, who one-ups himself with an even more disgusting sequence than the one he just did, finding a gross way to die. Not to be outdone, Kanavi decides to go for an even worse int, ulting solo onto the Ezreal with everything up and killing himself. The ensuing Gragas cast is massive, and the carries for LYON are able to win the fight easily, a 4-for-1. The gold is still relatively even, but the carries for LYON are super fed, and HLE have probably one more fight in them before the game slips from their grasp. With the Baron alive and the fate of the game at stake, Kanavi and Zeka team up to hit a huge 0-man Nocturne Ori combo, and LYON easily win the fight 3-for-0 while taking Baron. After this, the game is all but over. Kanavi and Zeka hit another 0-man combo on the Baron push, which leads to another lost fight, and LYON even out the series. I have to say, this game is some of the worst teamfighting I've seen at the entire tournament. The spells were flying all over the place.
Oh man, yikes! That's just brutal to say. But yeah, you're right, man. I mean, Inspired Lee Sin just feels weird. Kanavi did not do his job justice. The knock Orianna combo did not do well. It's like, man, this doesn't feel great. I mean, listen, from a League of Legends perspective and narrative, this is huge. But from a artistic team fighting perspective, I can understand his feelings. See, the brother knows art, man. The brother knows art.
Most of them not landing at all, and the quality of the engages were quite poor, especially from the 2 junglers. Throughout all of it, Saint and Isles were the only ones who kept their heads in the game from start to finish, and it was enough to get them the W. It's also worth mentioning that despite Berserker's good scoreline, he was missing way too many spells in most of the fights, and would have been a non-factor if HLE were playing better. A win for LYON nonetheless, and HLE will have to untilt fast to get back on track. I prefer the Game 3 draft for LYON more. HLE have the tools to play, as their Vi combo is pretty solid and will be able to one-shot Lucian fairly easily, but the Cog Lulu seems a bit on a different page, and I would have preferred an AD carry that can play alone with a support who can follow the dive, or for HLE to curve into a protect the Cog comp. For LYON, a lot of their picks are smart, with Victor being able to survive dives well, and Gwen being a counter to the HLE carries in teamfights. Skarner is also a fairly solid pick here, and I think HLE won't be able to win fights if all they can do is one-shot Lucian. At 2 minutes, Guma is solo killed by Lucian in very dry fashion in a level 2 all-in, and LYON start the game out with a lead. In the mid lane, Saint is also getting some pretty good trades onto Zeka, and he's able to force Yone to base early and TP back. If Saint can catch the wave under tower and teleport back himself, the lane will be great for him. To avoid this, Kanavi goes for a Q flash dive, and Saint doesn't react fast enough, resulting in his death and flipping the matchup entirely. Knowing Kanavi can't go bot after that, Inspired looks for a dive, and with some solid juggling, Guma is killed once again. The game is in a good state for LYON, but Inspired has other plans. He walks up to the 3rd Scuttle Crab, smites it down to 300, and gives Kanavi the free Scuttle and level 6, which is used to kill the inting Scar.
No. I think of all the people, all the players on this LYON team that didn't have a great series overall, I think Inspired is probably the worst. Why? This is like the same thing with Tian. And like Tian is trying to get the crab, like, why is every single jungler trying to come like Blabber at this point? Why? I can understand trying to smite in and get level 6 advantages, but my goodness, brother.
Kanavi is able to use this lead to go up 2 levels and force Inspired off the grubs, and he then invades Gromp, which Inspired stubbornly tries to smite 50-50, in which he's killed again. LYON are able to continue to hunt down the Kog'Maw, and they dive both Guma and Delight to get Lucian super fed, but Dokla is solo killed on the other side of the map, and there's a big problem. Everyone on LYON are down on gold except for the Lucian, and it doesn't matter how fed Lucian is because HLE's comp is built specifically to one-shot him. The gold is even, but realistically the game is already in HLE's favor. To add insult to injury, Kanavi finds another good play top to set Gwen behind even more, and LYON's main threats have no foothold in the game at all. Out of desperation, LYON try another bot side dive, this time on Zeka, and it looks good at first with Zeka's ult sucking and him going down quickly,
Hell yeah.
but Zeus teleport spot hits one of the highest value dry equalizers you'll ever see, and all 4 members of LYON are taken down. Gwen is able to kill Kog'Maw mid after Guma steps up way too aggressively, but it's a small consolation prize compared to the huge lead HLE just secured. HLE are able to use its momentum to snowball the game further, and they secure every objective while collecting multiple turrets. They've got Soul Point and a 5k gold lead, and victory is within their grasp. Inspire tries to go for an ult play onto Kanavi, but the Vi is too tanky and doesn't go down. It's looking over, and HLE can put the finishing touches on the game soon. Then, out of nowhere, Zeka makes a huge mistake by trying to Q3 into the entire enemy team and missing, and LYON instantly snap on the play, grabbing a kill. HLE are out of position trying to go forward with their mid laner, and Guma goes down next. Zeus tries a hero play with an equalizer flash forward combo, but the Milio ult gets everyone out of there, and he goes down as well. LYON turn for the Baron, and Satan Isles go hunting for Kanavi to deny any smite steal attempts, where they find him on his Krugs and kill him to get another shutdown. Out of the replay, Berserker is one-shotting Gumayusi under tower, and HLE all funnel in to try to salvage the play, but it's in vain as they're completely aced right in front of the mid-tier 2 turret. LYON aren't able to end off of this, but in the span of 2 minutes, they swung the gold by 9.5k, and the game is now firmly in their control. HLE's last chance to recover the game is at the next Drake, which could be their soul. They've got position at first, and even though LYON pushed their way in to chunk Guma hard and pressure the Drake, HLE are able to pull the trigger with their dive comp and one-shot the key carries of LYON in response. HLE are winning the fight, and it looks like they'll avert the crisis, but at the last moment, Zeka misses an ult off of his own Q3 knockup and is taken down, meaning LYON get the Drake and the soul is denied. When everyone respawns, Inspired and Kanavi trade ults once again with nobody dying or taking damage, but this time it's not HLE who are up 5k, it's LYON who are in the driver's seat. Now that everyone on LYON is fed, the dynamics of the two comps are completely different, and no Vi ult means HLE's comp has 0 answers for this 4-item Lucian. Sensing the opportunity, both Saint and Berserker immediately full send it forward, brute forcing their way to the Nexus turrets. With patient play and good spacing, LYON are able to focus down the Nexus and win the game, completing the massive HLE throw. No matter how you look at it, HLE were in prime position to win this game easily, and it was Zeka who threw it all away on 2 separate occasions. He wasn't playing that well up to that point, and the 2 huge game-deciding moments were almost entirely his fault, so it's a well-deserved 1 out of 10 for the HLE mid laner. He isn't completely alone though, as Guma and Inspired also both delivered terrible performances deserving of low scores. Kanavi actually had a great bounce back and played a fantastic game, but it wasn't enough to secure the victory. Game 4 comp.
So this is pretty much, when you look at the entire series, and I think we'll review the last 2, it's more of Hollow Knight Esports playing badly as LYON probably winning. Which, let's be honest, when LYON were up 2-1, I was like, okay, it doesn't matter how poor the performance is, a win is a win. A win is a win, and that's all that good. And I don't know how Hollow Knight Esports will recover from this. I just don't know how they will recover from this, but, well, Game 4 we'll have to find out.
It's hilarious because I prefer what LYON have, but the issue is that LYON players are notoriously not great at playing these picks at all. Dokla used to be a ranged top player, but he struggled heavily on it at first stand. Saint Annie has never been great. Berserker has never played Mel in his entire career. And Isles Pike was so bad domestically that it became a meme. On paper, I believe the LYON comp is better because their skirmishing and their lanes are great matchups against what HLE have, but I almost have to believe HLE will win purely through skill gap. Right away, it seems like LYON are set on proving me wrong, as Berserker and Isles land some spells onto Gumayusi that force him to flash at minute 2. This is big for the lane, as it means Caitlyn has to play much more passively against the threat of the point-and-click Pantheon gank. With this alleviation of pressure, Isles is able to roam topside, and he and Inspired find Kanavi and force him out of his own topside. Now, with Kanavi zoned away, LYON turn towards the Swain and look to dive him. Kanavi cancels his recall to cover, and although the Naafiri does end up getting 2 kills on the defense, both he and Zeus are taken down as well, and the important thing is that Jace is now ahead of Swain in a meaningful way. Isles then goes top again and finds another hook onto Swain, and Kanavi again is top to cover the play, securing himself a 3rd kill in the 1-for-1. Delight roams up 2, and Kanavi and Delight go for a dive onto Isles, resulting in yet another 1-for-1 where Naafiri is now 4 kills. At the grub spawn, Kanavi goes top and kills Dokla again for his 5th, but with Kanavi using his ult, it's guaranteed grubs for LYON. The 5-1 Naafiri looks mighty scary, but it's important to note that this actually isn't a good Naafiri game at all. HLE don't have any champs that pair that well with their jungler, and every member of LYON except for Jace are very durable against Naafiri's dive attempts. In my opinion, despite how it may look, I'd argue that LYON are actually currently in the lead. The next play comes from the Pike, as Isles snuck his way into the 3rd topside brush, and he catches Zeka out with a great hook into E-flash stun on the Aurora W, securing the 1st kill. Swain teleported in to try to defend, but everyone in Lion is ready to punish it, and they get a second kill plus the turret afterwards, opening up a 3k gold lead. It's a great punish from Isles, and now there are 3 members of Lion who are up quadruple digit gold on their lane opponents. Not wanting to let up the pressure.
I mean, if you're Lion, you're doing great. You're 3k gold up. You're 2-1 against Live Esports. You're about to do well. And then tragedy happens. And then absolute tragedy. Yeah, remember I told you there's gonna be tragedy coming up for North American fans? Yeah. This is it.
Pressure, Inspired goes for a red buff invade. HLE move in to defend, but Lion know they'll have an even numbers fight if Saint teleports in, so they make the call to go aggressive. Dokla jumps in to deal a large amount of damage, and everyone on Lion look to move out of the Swain ult. This is where huge mistakes would be made, as Inspired fails to flash the Swain E, getting pulled back into the ult right as Annie's teleport is trapped by Caitlyn. Zeka shows up on the flank, and in an instant, HLE kill 3 and turn to play on its head, deleting the entire lead Lion built up. The game isn't over yet, and Lion make a few good plays. They stack the Soul Point Drake to get some gold from turrets, and then they trade a bot dive for top dive, earning themselves more gold in the process. The lead is back up to almost 3k, and Lion once again feel confident to play fights. This time, it's on the blue buff. HLE think they have a catch onto Dokla, but it's actually a trap, as all of Lion are there to punish the Nefiri ult. It looks good at first, with Nefiri instantly going down, but Zeus goes in fearlessly with his ult, and even with 5 people staring him down, he's way too tanky to deal with. HLE move in and win the fight 4-for-2, and it's right before the soul spawns as well. Lion have one more chance to stop the soul from going down, and it has to come from Inspired ulting in on his respawn. Everyone from Lion can be there with teleports, and Swain has no ult this time. The entire fight is a disaster for them though. Isles dies before the teleports even finish, Inspired ults far away from the Drake and is forced to use his E prematurely, meaning he doesn't have his empowered Q to win the smite battle, and Kanavi secures the Mountain Soul as Dokla is left stranded in the middle of HLE. Multiple members of Lion go down, HLE secure the Baron, and despite the valiant attempts from Lion, their comp is run out of time as HLE have scaled past the point of no return. They end the game, bringing the series to silver scrapes. Before heading into Game 5, I have to issue an apology to Isles. Even on Champions he was known to be bad at domestically, he's really shown up and delivered some strong performances. I thought his Pyke was a laughingstock before this, but he was the best player in this game and almost brought NA to a shocking series win over the LCK 1 seed. As for Inspired, he has yet to play a single good game so far, and he has to lock the fuck in if NA want any chance to defeat HLE. Game 5 draft is a toss-up, but I think I like HLE a bit more. Basically, this comes down to if Lion can survive the first 10 minutes of the game. If they do, Renata and Shen will be great tools in every fight mid-game, Shinjiao and Silas will be great team fighters, and Xayah will be able to be pretty durable. For the early game though, HLE are winning hard. They have push in all 3 lanes and have all the tools to make plays, so there's a real chance HLE just blast through and win the game before Lion have a chance to play. In the early game, Lion do manage to stabilize a fair amount. The trading in all 3 lanes is pretty solid for the first few minutes, and Kanavi isn't getting any invade angles onto the Shinjiao. At 5 minutes, HLE try for a 3-man bot side play, but Isles is able to make it out without dying, and the game continues. A minute later, Delight catches Berserker out too far forward, and he trades flashes with the Xayah. With this flash down, he's able to get a cheeky Hex flash play later that results in the Xayah getting hooked in, and even with the Shen ult shield and Renata bailout, HLE secure first blood. A 1.5k gold lead isn't good, but it's not irrecoverable either. Delight goes mid to look for another play, and he and Zeka get a CC chain going onto Saint, but the damage is barely not there to secure the kill, and then Zeka ults too far forward and dies to the Shinjiao waiting over the Raptors wall. The game continues on, and HLE isn't able to extend their lead any further over the next few minutes. It seems like maybe Lion will make it out of this early game alive. With the game state in a decent spot, Lion decide now is their time to go aggressive, and they go for a bot dive. Aatrox channels teleport bot to defend the play, but Lion know they can get numbers with their globals, so they keep pushing forward. Shen ults in, Silas teleports in, and it's a full 5v4 brawl in the bot lane. Dokla hits the Kalista with a taunt flash, and Lion one-shot Gumayusi. They then turn their focus onto Aatrox, and they've got just the right amount of damage to take him down. Right at the last second though, Delight finds a teamfight winning hook with a Silasy that should kill Aatrox in midair, and Zeus lives with a sliver of a health bar remaining. The play results in a that should kill Aatrox in midair, and Zeus lives with a sliver of a health.
Just look at the light onto Saint. Just look at the light onto Saint. That is just amazing.
Delight finds a teamfight winning hook with a Silasy that should kill Aatrox in midair,
that is amazing, Delight. That is amazing, Delight. That was an amazing hook. That was a game-winning play. What a hook by Delight. That's probably the play of the entire game. My goodness.
Zeus lives with a sliver of a health bar remaining. The play results in a 3-for-1 in favor of HLE,
Yeah.
and the entire time, Kanavi was hitting the top turret to get even more gold.
Yeah.
HLE finally got the big early lead they were looking for, and it's
Mhm.
lights out for LYON in the series.
Correct.
They tried to fight a few more times, once at the Rift Herald, once at second Drake, and one more time bot side, but all three fights are complete stomps that never looked any semblance of close for LYON at any point. It's a fast win for HLE, who grab Baron on spawn and end the game in just 22 minutes, bringing this back and forth series to a close in decisive fashion. To summarize these ratings quickly, Delight decided to play one of the best games of his entire career
Yep.
and completely obliterated NA's hopes and dreams with just a few button clicks.
Yep.
It's a 3-2.
Okay, so I think Porter's gonna say something. It's a 3-2, but if you're Hunter Life Esports, you do not feel happy about that 3-2 score line. Zeka cost you what? The game against Yone. And you can say that Kanavi cost you another game. So you can say that both of your games are kind of like Kanavi and Zeu's fault. Owls played well. You could say that Owls played well, to be honest. Saint also improved, which is pretty much good. But inspired, man. Cheese and rice inspired. This is on you. This is literally on you. Like, you wanted to become the best Western jungler ever. Ever. To be no, okay, not saying. Best Western jungler probably ever right now. And you need to step up against the best teams. And remember, last year at this time, he was popping off against BLG of all teams. And then a performance again today against the mighty Hunter Life Esports, and you did this. You did a 3.2, the lowest among all the players. 3.2 rating for probably the, I don't know, the best jungler in the West right now. That is the guy that you're supposed to carry to beat the East. I don't know, man. Inspire should not live himself down. It's just absolutely hurtful. I mean, he shouldn't. He should be let down by that. He should be literally let down. Yeah. So I'm gonna give myself a few minutes and then Poro's thoughts, and then of course do the statistical review of this series, and then more coming up. Okay, welcome back. So I've already got my thoughts out of the way for this series. I believe that Poro might have the same feeling as I am. So take it away, Poro, and then I'm going with the stats and then previewing the final. And I think I'll get Poro's predictions. I'm gonna have my predictions later, and then that's it. And then we're gonna leave the last day, and then hopefully something crazy happens. So Poro, your thoughts?
And HLE are heading to Grand Finals where they'll rematch BLG. For LYON, this is an insane result, one that I was never expecting to happen. Dokla and Saint were locked in during all of the big fights, and Isles was absolutely carrying. It's insane to think that against one of the best teams in the world, it was the former multi-time last place LCS support who was the strongest performer in a 5-game banger. As for the star player of the team though, I'm incredibly disappointed. Inspired was bad today, no other way to put it. He didn't show up for a single game and looked like a completely different player than yesterday against G2. Had he played well in any of the losses, LYON probably close out the series. The moment was in his hands, and he didn't convert in the slightest. If there's anything to be truly concerned about, though, it's HLE's chances against BLG in the finals.
Also true. I mean, I said the same thing, man. Inspired, dude. You were supposed to be the big alpha and everything like that, and then you put up this performance. I'm sorry, man. The haters are literally clowning on you right now. If you cannot perform well against the best team in the LCK, if you perform like this against the best team in LCK, then what's the point? What's the point? And this is the same Inspired that performed well against BLG, a horrible BLG team from last year, and then you put up this? For shame, man. For shame. And also, I'm worried about Hunter Life Esports against BLG tomorrow. I'm literally worried.
After how they looked in the first matchup a few days ago, and how poor they look today against LYON, they'll need a drastic turnaround if they want to have any hope of winning MSI. Zeus was solid across the series, but he's alone on that front, as every other player showed big signs of inconsistency and messy play. The coordination wasn't anything like we saw domestically, and it seems like the team has been getting worse with each passing series. Definitely not the team I was expecting to see today, and they'll have to be much better if they want to make Grand Finals interesting. If you hadn't...
Okay, so before Poro's prediction for the Grand Finals, I will do the little bit of statistics. Here are the stats. Harder than Kanavi. You know what, Kanavi? Harder than Kanavi. Kanavi, get out. You do not deserve the first star or any second star or anything. Kanavi, get out. Kanavi, get out. Okay. You get at least second star status. There you go. So here are the statistics for this series. Game 1, I got Yumi Yuzi on Zig, 7-3 and 11, 6 KDA, 69% kill participation and 36.1k damage. Game 2 was Saint Akali, 10-0 and 7, perfect KDA, 81 kill participation and 25.3k damage. Isles on Milio, 1-1-18, 19 KDA, 90 kill participation and 4.4k damage. Kanavi on Nefiri, 6-2 and 8, 7 KDA, 70 kill participation, 14.3k damage. And then for game 5, the Light on the Blitzcrank, 2-0 and 14, perfect KDA, 73 kill participation, 5.5k damage. My 3 stars of the series are Zeus, top lane for Hannah Life Esports, 13, 14, and 41 with a 3.9 KDA, 58 kill participation, and 103.9k damage. Kanavi on the jungler, 19, 16, 47, 4.1 KDA, 71 kill participation, and 78 damage. Supposed to be damage. Supposed to be damage. I think it's supposed to be damage. Okay, I might be mistyping. And the light, 9, 14, 51 with the third star, 4.3 KDA, 65 kill participation, and 32.5k damage. I was going to give this team of the series to Dokala by stats, but I feel like Inspire just dropped the ball. 12, 23, 38, 2.2 KDA, 69 kill participation, at a damage of 69.2k damage. It was not a great series by Dokala, by Inspired by any means. The guy that is supposed to be the big alpha, the big personalities, and all that talk, all that jazz, all that being your chest, and all that leadership, and all that trash talking to put up this performance against Hunan Life Esports. And by the way, Isles play better than you. Isles of all players play better than you. With Pike, you are not going to let this down. You are not going to let this down. This performance is going to hang on you for pretty much the rest of your life until you're going to beat an Eastern team. You can beat all the NA teams you can want. But if you cannot beat an LCK and LPL team in your career, that's where the haters going to come here and fester you. It is what it is. Before we get to Poro's prediction, it is time for me to preview the finals. And we're going to preview the finals based on the numbers. So, this is a finals preview stat extravaganza presented to you by myself and pretty much no one else. Now, in case maybe people don't know, these are the stats. I can see Ben having Zeus have a way better KDA, kill participation, and kills shares, of course, with a gold is pretty much in favor of Ben. I can Shun, you can compare that. Shun is just way higher. Knight is a way higher, of course. And let me just drag in the numbers. You can say Knight is way higher. Viper is way higher. On is way higher. So you can say that every single one of those every one of those members from BLG performed really well in this tournament. Really well in this tournament. And I think Honor Life Esports progressed. I mean, look at the numbers. I mean, you can see the kill death ratio is not good. They got the goal percentage pretty good, but it's the mid late round. It's like minus 2.5 in the mid late rounds throughout this tournament. That is just not good enough. Not good enough for a team that's this caliber. Just not great enough in the mid late rounds. And you can see all the first tournaments, they've been even. Herald, they even. Dragon slightly in favor of Hun Life Esports. And Baron and Lanin is kind of even. So it's kind of like an even matchup. But the way these two teams performed in the last couple of days, BLG looks really good and really solid, especially in the very first matchup against Hun Life Esports. And Hun Life Esports just going all downhill, just literally all down here. Now, does it mean that BLG is going to win this series outright? I don't think so. I think Hunter Life Esports need to improve in order to win. They need to improve in order to win. And I think this could be a close series if Hunter Life Esports can step up. I believe they can do it. I think they have the Daejeon crown with them. I think the fact that, by the way, BLG is trying to win first stand and MSI for the very first time ever and trying to get to that golden road, which, by the way, has been haunted by so many teams the last 5 years. The last team, ironically enough, to try to make a bid for the golden road was JDG. And guess who was on that JDG team? Knight and Kanavi. Guess what? Knight is on one side, Kanavi is on the other side. Should be fun. BLG, by the way, are two-time MSI finalists. Of course, they did it in 2023 when they lost to that JDG team, and 2024 when they lost to Gen G. And of course, this is Hunter Life was very first MSI finals, but of course, they did won first stand in the very first edition last year. Although the first stand tournament was completely different, of course, that was involved with 5 teams, and Hunter Life were just cleaning everybody out. So this should be a fun final. But let's be honest. I think everybody had their money saying BLG will win it. But who knows? Maybe Poro might tell us who will win. Poro, for the penultimate time, for the final time, give me your prediction on the finals and give me my and I will have my thoughts.
Hadn't guessed already, my prediction for grand finals is definitely in favor of BLG. To be
Correct.
honest, I actually considered a 3-0. HLE's one win in upper bracket finals came purely
Mm,
from a once in a season draft collapse from BLG, and other than that, they were completely outclassed.
true.
Their series today against LYON did them zero favors, and they
True.
definitely can't be viewed as the favorites heading in. I'll
True.
go BLG 3-1 though,
Yep.
as I know what this HLE roster is capable of if they can step it up, and they
True.
might be able to win at least one game off of BLG's messy tendencies alone, if
Yes.
nothing else. When looking purely at MSI 2026 gameplay, though, the result is clear. BLG's players have performed better than HLE's players across the board, all 5 roles. Bin, Knight, and On have all performed like the best players in the world in their respective roles, and
Mm-hmm.
Shun and Viper are definitely the best performing in the roles at the tournament so far as well.
Mm,
I do have one piece of very good news for HLE though, and it's the
which
fact that
is
my predictions have been absolutely fucking cooked since the start of the tournament, so the Poro Curse may lead them to
oh
victory.
no.
That's all I have.
Oh no. It's kind of like the I show speed Kurt, except of course his Argentina team wins. So he might be right. He might be right. But my thoughts about this series is I'm going with the same thing. I'm literally going with the same scoreline. I was going to do like one of those prediction scorelines, but if I were to make, let me just see if I got the same thing as Poro here. Let me just see. Let me just see if I got the prediction right. Let me just see. I got the prediction right. So I have the prediction right here. I got all the predictions for MSI 2026 in here, and some of them are right, some of them are wrong. Actually, no, this is my thumbnail. And there you go. This is my predictions. And this is for Hana Life Esports and BLG. And would you look at that? I had the exact same scoreline as Poro. 3-1. I think the same thing is pretty much on the money. I think BLG overall is way better than Hana Life Esports. The last few days of Hana Life Esports have not been kind to them, of course. The performances have not been slipping. Zeka and Kanavi not doing well. Zays have been inconsistent. And then Gumiusi could be hit or miss sometimes. The light could be hit or miss. And the BLG team has been so solid all year round. Yes, you can say the T1 series, which is not in the races sometimes in drafting, but other takeaway from that, they have been great. They have been solid and great. If Knight can put up a pretty good performance, an 8 out of 10 performance against Zeka, it's over. It is pretty much over. If Knight can actually outperform Zeka, it is really over. Bin and Zeus is going to be a really, really close one. I think Bin could have the advantage, of course. Shun has been outperforming them. I think you can say that Shun is probably the MVP of this BLG team because of what he has produced for this BLG team and just elevate them to another level. So I think Shun could really gap the Kanavi, of course. I think Viper has been quietly the best AD carry of this entire tournament. Yes, his numbers have not been great, but I think you could say that he's way better than Gumiuchi from a stabilizing standpoint. And of course, On and the Light, I think On has been performing well. The Light has been hit or miss, although the Blitzcrank game was really good, but he's been in a miss. So I got a little bit of the same scoreline as you, Poro. 3-1 BLG all the way. I think it's going to be another victory for LPL. It's going to be another victory for BLG. It's going to elevate their narrative, of course, saying that I think BLG is going to go to the Golden Road, going into the America Worlds, of course, and of course, the start of the summer split, of course, to deal with. But if this wins, oh my God, this is going to be the year of the BLG, something we have never get to say in the last couple of years, of course. It is up to Honolulu Esports to just flip the narrative. We have seen in this entire tournament that narratives the last few days have been flipped. We saw with Team Secret Wales did it with Top Esports, although you can say Top Esports kind of joking. G2 did it against T1. You see Lion beating G2 when everybody's thinking G2 could easily done it. And even today, even though Lion lost, they managed to step up against Honolulu Esports. They managed to step up. So we have seen a lot of narratives, and I think Poro said it best. I mean, the predictions have been all over the place in this tournament, all over the place. So I think we're gonna sell either a really good series or it's gonna be stumped within like 2 hours, I guess. So, anyways, yeah, I think that concludes this edition of the MSI recaps. There's only one more recap left, and it's the finals, of course. Now, whether I'm going to do this at work or whether I'm going to do this at home, it depends. But yeah, I'm going to have one more final recap, of course, when we're reviewing the series. and also getting my superlatives and my all pro team, my team of the series, everything. We're going to be finishing up all the stuff that's from the MSI. And of course, I wanted to, yeah, give my thanks to all the people who have been watching this recap, of course, through the last couple of years. I mean, the last couple of days, by the way. Thank you all for watching, like, commenting, and subscribing to all of these stuff. I know and listen, yes, I want to also thank Mr. Psychopathic Polar for all the reviews, of course, even though he hasn't been there for a couple of days. He did his reviews, talk about the draft and something that I don't understand most of the time, but talk about the draft and learning and all kinds of stuff so I can understand. Yes, it's kind of like me reacting to this video, of course, but his knowledge is way better than mine's, of course, by an understanding point. And yeah, so thank you, Mr. Polo, for everything you have done throughout this thing. I want to thank Mr. Shineoff for the reactions and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it's been great. So, anyways, it's another painful day for North America. But I think if you're a Lion fan, and I'm gonna leave you with this, I think if you're a Lion fan, you should be proud of this performance. Top three international event, pushing Honda Life Esports to the brink, and having Oz put up great performances, Saint improve, Dokala doing decently well. That's what we're proud of. I think this series is going to hurt Inspired so much so. It's going to hurt his reputation so much so. Not as much, but right now Inspired is literally the Roy McIlroy Masters pre 2025 and Dale Earnhardt Jr. pre 2000s Daytona 500, in which they cannot even get over the hump. And his performance today against Honda Life Esports does not help his cause at all. And he needs to step up. He needs to step up. The next time he has to face up against a LCK or an LPL team, he needs to step up. The rest of the players have been doing fine. If the rest of the players can just step up and elevate and improve throughout LCS and beyond, I think the sky's the limit. I think Lion could be a good team. And it could put the LCS in the paper because right now you can say that FlyQuest is improving and maybe Lion could be improving and Team Liquid could be improving. But of course, Burnout and EWC is going to happen. And so I don't know. But I think if you're Lion and North America, you should keep your chin up, keep your head up. Of course, you did well, you performed well. It's been a good tournament. Yes, I know Team Liquid did not make it in the playing stage, but let's be honest, they were given a pretty bad draw and facing T1 in their prime. So it is what it is. So yeah, I think if you're Lion, you should be proud, and hopefully this painful experience could be a lesson to be learned to improve in everybody else. And yeah, I think that's it. That's pretty much my thoughts about all of this. Thank you all for watching. If you want, like, comment, subscribe to this video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the grand finale of MSI 2026 and all the awards and superlatives to come on. My name is Mackie. I want you to drink water, get your pets neutered, stay healthy, walk good in the Lord, and just, yeah. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully we get to 100 before the end of the year, and I'll see you guys next time.